Hello, welcome to Homestage X Elves podcast, homecast, whatever you want to call it. So together with me here is Justin. He is one of the best real estate agent that I know of. So although he looks very humble, but if you get to know him personally, you see how gung ho he is. So actually, we are here today. We're here today to actually talk about a very interesting topic, which is how if I'm actually interested to buy like a property in Brunei, right? So what are the things that I need to do, or what are the things that I would need to know? So I feel like Justin is actually the right person to go for, since he's been in the field for quite a while, and he's been dealing with a lot of clients. So I think let him take the stage and explain to us like what are the things that we can do or take note of. So I hope we can learn a thing or two, or we can come out from this video buying a house tomorrow. Look for him.
Okay. So that was a very humbling intro. So first of all, I just want to acknowledge Ching, because I think this was in the works for a few months. We had this idea back when it was I think pre-COVID. We sat down in a cafe, and then we discussed about this, and so just really thankful that we were able to get this going. Finally, we had a delay. We had a postponement. The other day. So and at the same time, I really want to acknowledge like the audience. Like, this is for you guys. So because we want to like provide value and provide content for the people of Brunei, and we're gonna answer some burning questions along the way. So so first of all, I just wanted to thank the audience for like your responses and getting some Q&As, especially on our Instagram page.
I saw you were asking a lot of questions before today, so I hope he's gonna answer a few of those. Okay, so Justin, how do we get started? Like, if I want to buy a house today, or I have an intention to buy a house, which I think a lot of the young Bruneians are having that same thought. So how do I get started?
Okay, I think first of all, right, because we just posted a seven-step process to owning a home.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just like walk through that, but you guys can always like drop by our Instagram page to just look over the post. So I would say the most important thing is to ask yourself like the question of like, are you ready?
Okay.
Like, you want to make sure that you are mentally ready to take like to own a home.
Okay.
And are you also emotionally ready?
Okay.
Because it's really like when people think of houses, right, it's always long term. Like, you don't want to rush it.
True.
Because it's long term.
True.
And it's involving finances. So when people think of finances, it's also very scary. Like, you don't want to rush through the process. So you want to like ask those deep questions, like, are you ready?
Ask those deep questions.
And you want to ask like your other half as well, and also you want to get advice from your family, like, are you really ready to take the next step?
I think that is actually a very legit question to answer first before you embark actually into anything. Especially we're talking about like property, right? It is one of life's biggest purchase. So you don't want to be like doing this halfway through and then you regret, you change your mind, and then you're going to be miserable for the next 10-20 years, right?
True.
So you really have to find out like if you really want to buy a property, you must have a very good reason, or a very strong reason, or very strong motivation, and you make sure that it doesn't die out in the next 3-4 years. Okay, so now I am emotionally ready. What's next? I got the drive to buy a house. So what's next then?
Okay, so once we got that part sorted, right, like once you're mentally ready, you're emotionally ready, next up is like you need to get your finances sorted. Okay, so this is step 2 of the process of owning a home.
Okay.
Very important not to skip.
Of course.
So I'll take an example of an iPhone. Okay, let's say I think iPhone is around like 1,500.
Depends on the model, but I think around 1.5 to 2K ish.
Okay, so let's say if the iPhone is 2K, like, and if our savings is like 4,000 to 3,000. Okay, you have a bit of how to say, you wouldn't want to spend that much on an iPhone if let's say your savings is only like 4,000.
Right.
What if something happens, like in case of emergencies,
Yep.
you might need that extra 2K
Yep.
for other purposes.
Yep,
So
correct.
we like same thing goes for owning homes. We want to know where we stand. Okay, let's say for example, once we've checked with the bank or any financial advisor. Okay, say for example we're entitled for 350. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't want to max out.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we want to look for something that is like 300 or below. Actually, the lower the better. That's the approach that we usually have for all our clients.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's also not to say that it's wrong to max out things, right? Like I said, provided you really know that this is something that you really want to do. But it's just in general, we advise not to max out if possible. So I think that's a pretty good example, like always preparing for emergency funds. Because in financial planning, what we do, we also emphasize that the first base of anything is that you need to have your emergency fund planned out.
Correct.
Because
Yeah.
you don't want to be like caught off guard, like suddenly, I don't know, let's say your car insurance is due, which is once a year, right? People, always forget
that's right.
about it. Like mine is going to due next month, so I'm like in a pinch also. Not in a pinch, but that actually like I feel the pinch also, like, oh, there's like $500 to $800 for it. So you don't want to be caught off guard.
Yep.
Like
Correct.
if you are always, we call it the gaji habis bulan belum habis type, which is like your money, your salary is done, but the month is not done, so you're not receiving anything. So if that happens and I need to pay for my car insurance or renewing road tax, all these things, how am I gonna get the money?
Yeah. Correct.
Right. It's also very hard for me to go for a loan and all these things. So the emergency fund is just actually there as a baseline to prepare for anything.
That's right. That's right. I mean, especially if we have a family, like if we have children, so we do want to have that extra cash on hand.
Oh, yeah.
Or savings, like we don't like we really don't want to max out.
Yeah.
If let's say if the audience is wondering like how do I check my finances? Okay, so I would say you can head off to the bank. Okay. Approach their home financing division.
Right.
Okay. Approach one of their bankers and ask them like, hey, I want to check my financial status.
Okay.
Okay. So from there, they'll take about like 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
They'll just work out your numbers. They'll ask you about your salary. They'll ask you about the loans that you currently have on hand and even your credit card. So all those are taken into consideration.
Right.
Yeah. So actually, there's a thing. Like if you're wondering like how, bankers calculate for you, it is through a thing in which we call DSR.
Debt service ratio.
Correct.
Right.
That's the ratio. So this is actually set by the former NBD.
Yep.
Okay. They recently renamed it to
BDCB.
Correct.
Yeah. Brunei Darussalam Central Bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is one thing that we actually elaborate to our clients. Like the reason why AMBD has set this DSR is mainly to protect us as a rakyat in Brunei.
Right.
So that we don't actually overspend.
Yeah.
And we don't overshoot our loans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's actually a system where we consolidate all the debt that we are servicing, which is like what we're paying every month, so that we actually don't go overboard, right? Because I know before, when this was not in place, a lot of people, they go to different banks and then they keep borrowing 30%, right? Of course, there's need to be proof and all these things, but there are people who end up, paying loans more than what they earn because the debt servicing ratio was not done properly before. So that's why the initiative came in where they restructured the whole thing and then it's centralized and then it doesn't matter which bank A, bank B, bank C, as long as you have a loan, it will be entered into the system and it will be calculated towards your debt servicing ratio.
Correct.
Right? So it's actually a good thing where you also protect yourself that you don't overcommit. At the same time, exactly, how much of your income is actually being, used to service loan, which is called debt servicing ratio.
Yeah. So guys, it's very important to have our finances checked first before anything else. So let's say if you're emotionally ready, you got your finances checked already, then you can start to shop around, what we call cuci mata phase. So this is the part where you actually go around and look for options.
Right.
But before that, I would actually highly recommend to get some advice.
What kind of advice?
Okay, so if you say what kind of advice, right, this would be knowing how the current market is.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say for example, if you're looking for gadong, gadong is very popular, right? Everybody's
yeah.
like looking
Oh,
for
yeah.
gadong.
Oh, yeah.
If not gadong, it'll be like rimba. If
Yeah,
not
yeah,
rimba,
yeah.
it'll be like tengku.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
If not, jurudong.
True,
Okay.
true.
But what most people don't know is that if let's say the area is high in demand,
Mm.
the more pricey it is.
Of course. Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Location.
So we want to get advice from friends. Okay. Obviously, friends who have bought homes before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and also our mom, our dad, our parents, and our siblings who have bought homes before, or we can approach property.
Justin.
Can be.
I get it.
That's why. Can be. That's why we're here, or okay, property specialist, or basically anybody who is in the field.
Okay.
Okay, so that is where you can get to understand. Oh, so this is how the market is. Like Jurudong,
yeah.
Rimba, they are hot areas, so
Yeah.
they're more expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, or up and coming areas like for example Numapas.
Yeah.
Okay, and also let's say for example Tanjong Nangka and Kulapis. So these are some areas that are up and coming in the market nowadays. So I would say getting consultation is very important. Don't
Yeah.
do it alone. Make sure you have a partner or a few partners, or get a team if you want.
Okay.
Get
Okay.
a team if you
Yeah.
want to get as much advice as you can, but don't overthink it. Okay, because one thing is for sure, you do not want to rush it.
True.
Okay, but you do not want to wait for too long as well.
Because by the time you wait too long, then the inflation happened already.
Correct,
The
correct.
prices, will
Correct.
be different, right?
Remember
Yeah.
during our times when we used to have kolomi in because we're both from you're from Lumut, I'm from Syria.
Yeah.
So the mee store in Syria,
Yeah.
the kolomi
It's,
used to cost like
150. For the longest, I think back in my parents' day, 70 cents or something like that.
yeah.
Then my time, well, $1, 150, 120. I think during
It was
primary school,
120 during my
120. Then middle school, 150.
Yeah.
Then after that, they raised it to $2. Now it's 250, right?
Correct.
Yeah, inflation
Correct. So
in
inflation
Colombia.
plays a part, and I think it's part of every product in the market as well. Like homes especially, they appreciate quite fast, because homes can never go away. There will always be people who want to, find a space of their own.
True.
Yeah.
Especially land, right? Because it's a limited resources. So once this is built, it's very hard to it's gone, right? Or unless this person is willing to sell it off and then reconstruct the whole thing. So it's a limited thing, right? So people are trying to fight hard for it also. Yeah.
I mean, like really if you look at it, really a lot of things are appreciating in value. Even financial services, like I assume insurance as well. Any sort of financial consultation, it is appreciating in value as time goes.
Yeah.
So again, we do not want to rush, but we do not want to wait for so long either.
Yeah, when like it's too late and everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
Again, it goes back to because for some people, because I've had a number of clients, right? So we get to share our stories. Like normally, I'll ask them like why. Like what's your motivation in owning a home?
Yeah. That's a pretty important question.
From there, I will get to learn from their experiences. Some of my clients, right, it really is a dream for them. Ever since they're young, when they're growing up, they have always had this thought of I want a space of my own, in which I call home. My dream space. Some clients is like advice from their parents. Okay.
Yeah.
Advice from their parents.
Heard about that before.
Okay. Some of my clients is like, oh, my friend is like buying a home. Maybe I should too.
Okay. Yeah.
I hope the audience relates to this. So this is from the experiences of the stories from my clients. So yeah, again, it goes back to thinking to yourself why. Why do you want to own a home? So it's really, really powerful. Yeah. Once you get that sorted, then the next few steps will be easy. You don't feel like it's stressful. For my clients, I want them to enjoy the experience.
Right.
Once you get your finances sorted, then you start the cuci mata phase. Enjoy the process, guys.
Yeah. Like see what kind of design, what kind of like how many bed, what location you want, right?
Correct.
So at least you have the idea, and then you also can gauge understanding your finance, like how much can you afford, right? Because I might want to have like a 10-story house, but I'm just saying, like 10-story house, like worth $5 million, or I don't know, with a pool, 10, 20 car park lot, right? But financially, it's not feasible, right? So all this dreaming that I have will not come true. Maybe one day, cross fingers, cross can. But looking at the situation is not very feasible. So then you want to adjust your expectation and the things that you look at according to your budget also, right? So you don't want to have any disappointment. Like you work so hard, you plan all this, you look for the homeowner, you go through the bank, all this thing. At the end of the day, you realize, oh, this is not feasible.
That's really a good point, Ching. So what you're saying is that first we need to know where we stand, then we set our expectations from there.
Yeah.
Rather than you set your expectations first, but then in the end you found out that, oh, okay, it's probably a little bit beyond. Yeah. So from there you have heartbreak.
Yeah. I'm sure there is someone out there say, what if, suddenly I make a lot of money? Okay, then you can adjust your expectation. But we're talking about the average people, the normal people, right? The income does not just suddenly zoom up like that. But if you're in those category, then you have to pay attention to this space. We'll talk about you in the future. But for now, just, tahan first, yeah. You get your turn.
Okay.
Yeah, so for the normal people, average people, or employee, like people earning a fixed income every month, it's you really have to understand work within your means, or work within the things that you're dealt with,
Correct.
right? Then you can have a better experience.
Okay. Next is to narrow down your options. Okay, this is the part where consultation is also very important as well. Like we want to make sure that those options fit in your preferences.
Right.
Like let's say if you're looking for 5 bedrooms, okay, does this option have that requirement?
Right.
Or if you're looking for like a big compound, something that is very good for
Gardening.
Future extensions. Okay, this is actually very popular thing that our clients look for, which is space for future extensions.
Right. Yeah.
And Bruneians being family oriented, we always have relatives over.
All right.
Okay, we have our friends coming over to lap up.
Yeah.
Compound space is very important. Also for our kids.
Or you can build your own home gym.
Actually, that is honestly for me, growing up, I always envisioned owning a home, and this home has to have enough space. Because I've always been a fitness fanatic. So growing up, I played soccer with my dad. So growing up, I had a dream of owning a home with a compound space whereby I had space for like basketball and space for gym.
Okay.
So that's me. But most Bruneians, they prefer a home that has a little bit of space, where they can extend slowly, bit by bit. Okay, extend their kitchen, extend their living room, so where they can actually accommodate more people.
Yeah. As their kids grow up, then they have their own cars or their own family. They want the family to stay in also, right? So the option to be able to expand, that would be quite important. True.
Yeah. So this is the part where we narrow down our options to make sure that it fits your preference.
Yep.
Okay. So let's say you've already you're pretty sure that you've discussed with your wife already, and you've had the blessing of your mom and your dad, okay, your parents, which is super important, okay, because you want to make sure that everybody is comfortable, and this is really a big investment. You want to make sure that everybody's comfortable, everybody's happy, okay, then you can proceed to the next step, okay, which is actually step number 5. Okay, step number 5 is to get the documentation sorted.
Okay,
Yeah?
so right, what kind of documentation will I be looking at the moment? Like if I want to get started.
Okay, so these documentations, right, I would suggest, you can do it on your own, but I would suggest to have somebody help you to handle the documentations for you. So these are actually the documentations for the bank.
Okay.
Documentations for the lawyer.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about like how do you secure a home. I think this is one of the burning questions by our audience. Yeah, because we did recently have a few content on Instagram where we asked like our audience questions. Like, so this is actually one of the questions that came about.
Right.
Okay, how do I book a home, or how do I secure a home?
Right.
Okay, so let's say if you've gone through the first few steps already, okay, you want to have it requires a booking fee.
Okay.
Okay, And it requires also another documentation, which is called letter of intent to purchase.
Okay.
These two documentations, right, they are used to secure the home for you. And also later on, to process the loan for you.
Okay.
Okay, so this is actually one of the process of kick-starting the process of owning a home.
Okay.
Yeah, these are to be submitted to the bank. Then from there, we will apply your loan. In 2 to 3 weeks' time, you will know whether your loan is approved or not.
Oh, so even if I check my finance already, there's still chances where it will not be approved, or once I checked it, like I know this is my entitlement, I'm guaranteed to get it.
That's a very good question. Okay, let's say if we checked your finances already, usually we'll advise you not to take up any loans from there.
Okay.
It's very important.
Okay.
Okay, because if let's say you take up a loan after if we check that okay your finances are okay already, and you decided to go for like let's say a car loan, okay, which is 400 to 500 a month,
right.
that would affect your overall budget.
Yep. Okay. So as long as all the numbers are okay, then there's high chance that it will be approved. Of course, I know there's always exceptions to whatever it is. But yeah, looking at like if the numbers are right, you don't go behind the back door and apply additional loan. Then it seems like high chances that the loan will be approved. Right. Okay. Okay. And then after that, you mentioned that we need to get a letter of intent to purchase. That one we can draft ourselves, is it?
It's actually drafted by the company you're dealing with, or the middle person,
Okay.
or the realtor that you're dealing with.
Okay, so
Yeah,
people like
I mean you can you can do it yourself, but I would suggest if for you to save time, it's better to approach a realtor for them to get all the documentation sorted for you.
Yeah, I think that's a very important thing that you mentioned, to get a professional, especially on the documentation side, because being I would say as a beginner in terms of like owning a home, I don't know all the terms and conditions that is supposed to be in there, right? So having a professional to go through with me the documentation, what is needed, it gives a reassurance that I'm actually going the right path, and I'm not being scammed. I don't know if I want to use the word scam, but not being taken advantage of in this sense.
Yeah, correct.
So having someone that is proficient in the field to be next to me to make sure that he is standing on my best interest and not
Correct.
the other party's best interest.
Correct.
To make sure that the owning process is as smooth as possible, and I'm paying the best price possible for that property, right? Yeah, so that is, I totally agree. Having a professional next to you will make a whole lot of difference. Although I have never owned a home before, but dealing with paperwork frequently and dealing with lawyers sometimes, I know the importance of having a professional next to you.
Correct.
To make sure that you're getting the right advice, making the right move, signing the right documents.
Correct,
That's
correct.
important.
I mean, at the same time that you guys save time. If you let's say you approach a specialist who knows the process, you definitely save time.
Oh yeah.
Okay, because they are the ones who know like what's next. So
Yeah.
let's say if your loan is approved, what's next?
Yeah.
Then what's next? What's
Yeah.
next?
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True. Especially you're talking about banks, right? They only operate during working hours, and then you're working, so you might have to like take a few days off to do
Correct.
all the
Hey,
banking.
That's right. Actually, it's correct. Mostly our clients, right? They are only free during weekends.
Yeah, and banks are
Okay.
not really.
So this is the aspect of saving time, because let's say if you finish work around 4:30 to 5, you'll be tired already to make bank runs.
Yeah.
Runs between the banks.
Yeah.
And with the lawyers, but let's say if you want to pick up your kids also as well.
Yeah. True.
So you might not have that time
Yeah.
to handle all the documentations yourself.
Yeah. True. And you
Yeah.
need to utilize your leave and whatnot to.
Yeah.
To get the paperwork done, right? So
That's correct.
not everyone is keen on that.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Okay. Understandable. Okay. So documentation done, and what next?
Okay, so loan approval will take 2 to 3 weeks.
Yep.
Okay, after 2 to 3 weeks, the banks will actually draft what we call offer letter.
Okay.
Okay, this I believe is the same as
Okay.
buying a car. You know,
Okay.
when you buy a car, you have an offer letter. You have to go to the bank to authorize this offer letter. Only then they can kickstart the next process. So
Okay.
for home, it's the same. This offer letter will be like a summary. Okay, this offer letter will include like, okay, how many years of financing that you're taking out.
Okay.
Okay, for Brunei, it's most of my clients, they go for 25 years. Let's suck it. Okay,
That's the maximum, is it? 25.
that's the maximum. But you can also opt for 20. Okay, or 15 or 10. Okay,
So,
so this offer letter will include the number of years you're financing. Okay, what's the size of the house? What's the size of land? What is the location? Okay, so every single thing, it will be summarized in that offer letter. It's about 4 to 5 pages. After you get that sorted, then it's the next step.
okay.
Okay, the next step is where the searches are done.
Searches.
Yes, searches.
Oh.
So the bank, after your offer letter is authorized, right? The bank will then instruct the lawyer. These lawyers will do searches.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody knows this. Bankruptcy.
Okay. Any
Okay.
blacklisting, bankruptcy.
Correct.
Okay.
Let's say if you have been blacklisted before, then the process has to come to a halt. Okay, so the lawyer has to make sure that no party involved has a history of bankruptcy.
All right. Right.
Okay, and also there's like TCP search as well. It's very important for our audience to know.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say if you're planning to buy in Jordan, for example, the area, right, it cannot have any plans of our country building an overhead bridge
Okay. Oh, I didn't know about that. Okay.
or highway purposes or big projects that may come about in the future. Okay, so this TCP is very important. What our audience should know, it's actually called the Town and Country Planning Search.
Okay.
So we have to make sure that there is no future project there. Only then homes can be built there.
Isn't that like when you first, look at the land, they already know that? No, it's not like that.
They will have to check again.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
make
Just
sure
to
that-
double confirm lah.
Just to double
Okay.
confirm that everything is smooth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. So let's say if the searches are done, right, then we will proceed to the lawyer. Okay. So this is very important also for our audience. Whenever like you own a home in Brunei, right, there will always be hidden costs. Okay. It's not just applied to Brunei, but also other countries as well. There will always be hidden costs. Okay. So if you're wondering like, oh, hidden costs, okay, I'm starting to get heart attack already. I'm starting to get nervous already. Like hidden
Yeah,
costs,
yeah.
that means more pocket out of my money.
Yeah.
More money out of my
pocket.
pocket.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just tell you roughly like how much it costs. Okay, let's say the searches are done, you have to proceed to the lawyer. So from that side, you have to go through the sales and purchase agreement.
Okay.
Okay, that's one of the documentations that you need for owning a home. Okay, then we have legal documentations. Okay, then we have MRTA, extremely important.
The insurance.
Correct.
For
MRTA,
home, yeah.
yes, for owning a home. Specifically for owning a home.
Yep.
It's most people confuse MRTA and normal
Yep.
insurance. So
Yep.
MRTA is just specifically for owning a home.
Yep.
Whenever you take up home financing, you have to take up MRTA. It's compulsory.
Yep.
In case anything happens, like touch wood.
Yeah, like
Touch wood.
in the event of like death or disability, then they will cancel the loan, right? So at least your family still can stay at the home. I mean, to make it simple, right? The family still can stay at the home because the insurance will pay the bank whatever is being owed. Right?
Correct.
So it's a long cancellation policy.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Okay, so we have MRTA, then the fourth one would be valuation report. Okay.
Okay.
We can actually cover this in future sessions.
Yeah,
All right.
sure.
We'll go more in depth into these hidden costs, but for this session, I think we will just do a summary for you guys.
Yeah.
And we hope that this is actually valuable information for you guys.
Confirm it is. I'm learning a lot of things already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's exciting to think that like this is actually the very first podcast that is in Brunei, especially, that is
Talking
real-
about owning a home.
talking about owning a home and real estate related.
Yeah, because actually I look for Justin also. I was a bit interested in like owning a home and all these things, right? But there's not really any information out there that I can just Google and look through all this process. It's actually only until I met Justin and then he walked me through like what are the steps. Then I have a better understanding. So I think these are good information that is being put out there. At least people who's interested to know like, okay, this is the direction that you need to head into or will be heading into if you are trying to own a home. Rather than being a headless chicken, right? It's like, now I look for the house first and then I go to the bank and then I realize, I need to actually go to the bank to know what's my ratio. Then I go to the understand my ratio, that house is not entitled for me. So then I need to look for another house again. So there's a lot of wasted time and effort on my side if I'm a buyer. It's not efficient and there's a lot of disappointment. I think it will be involved also. Yeah.
Correct. Okay. Thanks.
So
Ching.
definitely, good
Definitely.
information.
Okay, so these startup costs or hidden costs we have to bear in mind. It's about 14. I would say I would always give my clients worst comes to worst. Okay, so these hidden costs would be about 14,000 to 15,000. Okay, it depends mainly on the MRTA.
Okay. Insurance, fees and whatnot, right?
Okay. So this is actually the process that you have to go through from applying your loan to offer letter. Okay, then to searches, then to the lawyer. Okay. Then from there, you're good to go. You're all set to own the home. Okay. From there, you'll be provided the keys to your dream home.
Then I can move in and
Correct.
start making babies. Just kidding. No man, cannot man.
I hope
Helping the country, okay?
I hope we don't go over the time limit.
Yeah, okay. I think in conscious of time, I want to thank Justin for his time. That he's sharing a lot of this information that is only available to himself, or only available to people who's actually in the industry. So I think I myself has learned a lot today on what he has shared. But there's actually a lot more things that we want to talk about, which we can deep dive more in the future episodes, like in terms of the cost, the insurance, and all these things. That is being, part and parcel of owning a home. It's not just simple as like, okay, now I get a home, done deal, right? Happy life forever, already. So yeah, we're gonna explore more on those in the future topics. So you make sure you stay tuned, and I'll get Justin to summarize the whole thing.
What?
Because he's
I
the
thought
pro.
you're gonna be the one who's gonna do the summary.
Okay, so yeah. First, make sure that let me see if you did you teach me right. Make
No,
sure
I'm just sharing.
make sure you understand your intention of buying, so your motivation. Then you go to get your finances checked.
Yep.
And then after that, you ask around for any advisors or look for professionals to help you.
Correct.
Then once you know what you want, you're entitled already. Then actually you go to you go to look around and narrow down your options. Then you can actually start doing the paperwork. Go to the bank, get the documentation done, look for a lawyer to help you out.
Correct.
I would say look for Justin to get everything sorted out for you. Then
that's why our team and my team and I are here. We're actually here to help more Bruneians own homes. So
noble dream.
No, we're
And then after that, once everything the bank approved already, and then that's when you actually start owning a home, right? But yeah, don't forget there's hidden costs that he mentioned about, which actually is part and parcel of owning a home as well. So yeah, did I miss out anything?
So far so good. I think this has been a very valuable session. I hope this Alps Times Homestage podcast has been very valuable and very informative for our audience, because just to make sure that we do want to provide more value to the people of Brunei in terms of finances, in terms of owning a home. So so at least everybody knows our values and our missions.
So okay, just want to say if you have any questions or any comments you wanna actually tell us, just make sure you comment down below, and then we can actually address those questions in the future. Until then, we'll see you in episode 2. This is Justin and I'm Ching. Very glad to be able to host this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.